Okay, you ready? I'm going to do this one three ways. First, the easiest way, then the second easiest way, and then finally the hardest way. And ironically, in a question like this, the hardest way is one of my favorite ways to solve other questions, but we'll get to that. First, if you have memorized a formula, and this formula is in the book, if you have the absolute value of the variable, in this case that's s, minus the middle of the range. So our range here is 39 to 75. So the middle of the range is going to be 39 plus 75 over 2. And of course that equals 57 when you do that in your calculator. So the variable minus the middle of the range is going to be less than or equal to the distance from the middle to the ends of the range. So the middle is 57. What's the distance from 57 to 75? 57 to 75. 75 minus 57 is 18. And this is going to be your answer, right? The variable minus the middle of the range less than or equal to the distance from the middle to the ends of the range. That's the easiest way to go, although it does require you to have memorized a formula. All right, so the other way that's a pretty easy way to go is just to convert the answer choices to ranges that are more intuitive. So what you really want, what you could easily write up based on just reading the question, is you want to have something that says this: 39 is less than or equal to s, which is less than or equal to 75, right? That's intuitively what you want. One of these answer choices is going to translate to that. And since we already know the right answer choice from what we just did, I'm only going to do one of these. But you can translate all the answer choices really easily, and here's the process. You got the absolute value of s minus 57 is less than or equal to 18. Take this 18 and make it negative 18, then we get rid of the absolute value. Negative 18 is less than or equal to s minus 57 is less than or equal to 18. Add 57 to all three sides. Negative 18 plus 57 is 39, less than or equal to s, less than or equal to 18 plus 57, you guessed it, is 75. So, by doing that, we get what we want as well. We wanted this, and sure enough, we got it, right? So, two easy ways to go. One is to memorize the formula, which is not that tough to memorize. Two is just to convert these answer choices into more intuitive ranges. Now the third way to go, the way that unfortunately is not that easy for questions like this, is you can plug in. And this doesn't require memorizing anything you don't already know because it's just a plugging in process. However, it can get tricky, and here's why. When you plug in for a question like this, you're not going to be able to eliminate choices by plugging in something in the middle. Like if you just plugged in 50, that's not going to help you because there's a big range here, and chances are a lot of wrong answers will still work for 50. What you want to do to get rid of answer choices is plug in answers that shouldn't work but just barely shouldn't work. So for example, I'm going to start by saying s equals 38. And I'm doing that because I know the lowest score is 39. So the first score on the low end that shouldn't work is 38. If you're plugging in an answer that should not work, and an answer choice gives you an inequality that is true, you're going to eliminate that answer choice. Does that make sense? Listen to that again. If you plug in a number that should not work, and that gives you an answer choice that gives you a true inequality, you're going to eliminate that answer choice. So we'll illustrate. 38 should not work. So I'm going to do choice A, and that's going to be 38 minus 39, absolute value, is less than or equal to 75. Well, of course, this left-hand side is just going to be 1, and that is less than or equal to 75. I got a true inequality. I don't want a true inequality because 38 should not work. So the fact that I got a true inequality means I'm going to cross off A. See how that's confusing? This is why I'm not a big fan of plugging in on questions like this. If we do the same thing with B, again, 38 minus 20, absolute value, less than or equal to 75. Well, that's going to give us 18 less than or equal to 75. Again, that's true, and we don't want true, so we cross off B. 38 minus 18 over here in C That's going to give us 20, which is, of course, less than or equal to 55. So again, we got something that is true, and we don't want true. We cross off A, B, and C because they give us true inequalities for an answer choice that should not work. Yuck, right? If we try D, 38 minus 60 is going to give you 22, right? And that's, well, negative 22, absolute value makes it 22. That is not greater, that is greater than 17, so D gives you a false inequality when it should. So 38 doesn't help us eliminate D or E, because both those are going to give us false inequalities, and they should. So now what I'm going to try and do is clear all this out, and we're going to plug in another number to try and get down to only one answer. Alright, so again, two reasons why I don't like plugging in for questions like this. One, it's inherently time consuming. Two, it's a little bit confusing. What we're going to do now is we're going to plug in actually 39. 39 should work, right? 39 should give me true inequalities, because 39 definitely was one of the scores in this chemistry test. And we're going to try D. If I do 39 minus 60, absolute value, less than or equal to 17. Now again, now that I'm doing 39, I do want a true inequality. But this is going to give me 19 is less than or equal to 17, which is false. And I don't want false, I want true, so I can cross off D. If I look at E, of course, it's going to give me something true. 39 minus 57, absolute value, is going to give me 18, right? And of course, 18 is less than or equal to 18. That is true. So, by plugging in, by memorizing a formula, which I'll put in the video right here, and by converting answer choices to more intuitive ranges, there's three ways to get a question like this. My recommendation is you do either the memorizing of the formula or converting the ranges. Plugging in is a last resort on a question like this. All right?